Do you guys remember like a few videos back when I said that I hated time wasters? I spent a lot of time on this person and I knew deep down what was going on, but I just didn't want to admit it to myself that that's what this person was doing to me. I don't know, I'm very irritated with myself as well as with the person involved. As I mentioned in my previous video about what I tend to look for in a partner, I mentioned that I hate time wasters and I hate people who aren't honest and I hate people who act sly and they disrespect me. This particular person, who I'm not going to mention his name, but this particular person I had known from my years in education, but I never knew him like properly. We always just kind of saw each other because although we were on like two different courses, we would work within the same part of college. And one day he just messaged me out of the blue and we kind of just got talking from there. And often we were talking for quite a long period of time within the day. It would be like in-depth conversations for hours on end. We were having a lot of communication with each other, which I enjoyed. We seemed to be quite similar in our likes, our dislikes, all of that sort of stuff. But as time progressed, I realised that all of our conversations were always sexual. And I never really understood why they would always be sexual. And I would always kind of try to ask him questions, like, you know, just trying to get to know him that weren't sexual in any way, shape or form. But he would always briefly answer the questions that I had and then shift back over to conversations of a sexual nature again. And that was something that should have really rang alarm bells, but for some reason it didn't. We would, like I say, chatting quite a lot, and there were a couple of instances where he came around to my house. Let's just make this perfectly clear because I know this could possibly be in a lot of people's minds. We did not have sex, okay? We did not. And I know that might be too much information for a lot of people, but I think if I'm going to talk about this, and given the fact that I've just said that all of our conversations were of a sexual nature, or most of them were, I just want to make that perfectly clear that we did not have sex, okay? We didn't. He came around my home a couple of times, only for, you know, a couple of hours, where really we just kind of sat and played video games together, and I was keeping the conversation, or trying to keep the conversations, less of a sexual nature and more of like, I want to just get to know you, and even if we can just be friends, that's fine. If it doesn't go any further, that's fine as well, because I'm not looking, you know, for anything to go any further. At the point that we had very first started properly speaking and communicating, I had only very recently split up with my partner. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but also I do want to make it perfectly clear that I wasn't looking for like a friends with benefits type situation. That's not the kind of person that I am. I won't have sex with people who I am not in a relationship with. I'm very funny about that because of past experiences and things that have happened in my life. I quickly realized that he would be really interested in me for a few days in a row. Like, we would talk almost all day for a few days. I would wake up on a morning and he would have already have messaged me, and he was giving me a lot of attention. Quite early on when we were speaking, I had come out straight with him and said, look, I think that you're an attractive guy. I'd like to get to know you even more. I'm not pressuring you in any way, shape or form for things to go further. I'm just letting you know that, you know, I do find you quite attractive and I would like to get to know you and see where things end up. And I want to reiterate this, that I never ever once put any pressure on this person to get into a relationship with me. I wasn't looking at the time for a relationship. Like I said, I'm not going to jump into anything straight away. He would be interested in me, but then he would always go quiet. So there would be like a few days where he would be really interested in me, giving me loads of attention. Although I had no idea what his intentions were at the time, I was just happy to be speaking to somebody, because a lot of you may know that things are going on in my life at the moment, and they have been for the past, you know, quite a few months now. And I just been feeling very vulnerable. But then, like I said, there would always be that moment where he would disappear off the face of the earth. There were times when I messaged him first, but the majority of the time he was the one like starting the conversations. It's kind of just really weird, because like I said, he was giving me attention for days on end, and then he would disappear off of the face of the earth. And I would message him, not bothering him every day or anything like that, but I would message him every now and again, like if I hadn't heard from him in a while, and I would just say to him like, you know, are you okay? Like, what's going on? I've not heard anything from you for a little while. He would only speak to me when he wanted to, as in when he wanted it. But like I said, we met up a couple of times. He came around my home here. We like played video games and stuff like that together. For only a short period of time. Like, he was never around here all day or anything like that. It was like a couple of hours maximum, and then he would go off and do other things, which fine, you know, if that's all that you can do, that's all that you can do. At the end of the day, this person works and he has a busy life. The problem was that I very quickly noticed 9 times out of 10 he would tell me, okay, well, let's meet up at like, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, this day, this time, this is what we're gonna do. And then the morning would come when, we were supposed to meet up, and he would go silent. Like, all of a sudden he would completely forget how to use his phone, and he wouldn't message me, he wouldn't ring me, he wouldn't do anything. He would just ignore me all day, and I will be messaging him saying like, look, where are you? What's going on? Are we meeting up or not? I would be all dressed up, ready to go for this meal or to go to his house or whatever, but he would completely just go silent on me. I'm getting messed around, and I'm the kind of person who always wants to think to herself, like, there is good in this person, because I would get really arsy with him, because that's my number one, like, thing. Whether you're a friend, family member, a partner, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. If you are telling me a date and a time to go out, you better have a good reason to go completely silent on me and stand me up, basically. So I would, at times get really arsy with him, and he would apologize, and then it would be like a vicious circle. It was as if he was making transactions. He was like using me, as and when he wanted. He would pick me up and give me a little bit of attention here and there, and then drop me, like, no word, no question, no nothing. And like I said, the reason why I allowed it to continue on for as long as I did was because I thought to myself, okay, well, there must be a good reason as to why he keeps doing this. He's busy, he has a life. I mean, maybe he was called into work, and I was like thinking up all of these excuses, and I would often say, what are your intentions? What do you want out of this? Because obviously I had made where I stood very clear, but he never ever answered any of my serious questions when it came to how he felt. However, the one time that he did say something. He said that he is looking for a relationship. He was complimenting me, which led me on to believe, okay, well, perhaps he would like a relationship, because he'd mentioned it before in the past, that is what he was looking for. As each day was going by, more and more irritated with him, and he knew that. And now looking back at it, I just think to myself, like, why? What? I even asked him, I said, what are you getting out of doing this to me? It's some sick entertainment. You're getting some kind of kick, some kind of entertainment out of treating me like crap. The last message I sent to him was me basically saying, I'm done. Like, that's it. You only get so many chances. You've already had more than enough chances to take me out, to do things with me, to get to know me. I made him very, very aware that things with both my mental and physical health aren't good right now. He knew. I don't understand why people have to treat others like rubbish. And I gave him plenty of opportunities in order for him to say exactly how he felt. I'm not saying don't get to know somebody. What I'm saying, I guess, is just be careful, because you don't know someone's true intentions. Even if they say one thing, it doesn't mean that they mean it. These people who treat you like rubbish do not deserve to be in your life. And you are perfectly within your rights to tell them to do one. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please make sure to click on that subscribe button. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.